Hi, welcome to Gays Planet, the show where two boyfriends kiki about all things K-pop, and today we are recapping Island 2 NA episode 10.
Where if you're short and have a normal body, you are asked to leave the stage immediately.
This episode is a competition to see who can make it into the finals. So this is the self-made test. They pick the two winners kind of last episode, Jimin and the ultimate winner, Coco.
Mnet favorite, Jimin, and fan favorite, Coco.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah.
The one who has actually become the fan favorite.
We love her. Oh, honestly. So the self-made test, they have to determine a concept, which is really like what plays on the LED screen behind them and below them. They get wardrobe suggestion powers, story, stage design, hair, some choreo changes. Like, they get more creative control than they've ever had, but not full creative control, I would say.
Yeah, but they become like producers of a song.
Yeah. This is like maybe the most fun segment of the show when like all the girls are just told it's a self-made test. They have to pick a debut song from one of 9 groups. Before they pick the song, they have to cast the group. And they're like, okay, Coco, pick your first member. And they slap a minute on the clock, and she has 1 minute. I just love the panic in her eyes when she's like, oh, okay, I don't actually have that much time at all. I can't spend all day like Jungin earlier in the show.
Yeah, I think that part 2 is, a subplot of part 2 is Coco looking terrified with a language barrier, but then ultimately
Prevailing
and making great choices.
She made great choices. So she cast Ji-yoon first. Like, her mind was, I need a vocal.
Yeah, and I don't think that Jimin was casting.
Well, no, everybody that Coco picked, Jimin wanted. Jimin wanted Ji-yoon. So, okay, Coco picks Ji-yoon. Jimin picks Fuko because she's like, I need a vocal. They both want Soojung to choreograph it. And she's like, I think I don't have to pick Soojung first. I think I can wait 1 slot and then pick her. But then Coco second pick Soojung. And Jimin's like, fuck. And picks Sadong for some reason. We love Sadong, but looking at the picks, I'm like, I understand where Coco's mind was, where she goes Ji-yoon vocal, Soojung choreographer. Then she picks Ju-won.
And then she picks Jungin. Yuju she picks last because she said she didn't want to pick her. But she says that to Yuju because she's like, we just did a challenge together.
Yeah. So Jimin is kind of playing like catch up and does Fuko, Sadong, Seibi, Mai, Gyuri.
Jimin just does, here's a copy of me, and then copied, and then copied, and then copied. They're the tall girls with thin noses who are goodish at everything.
Well, Jimin was in the same group as Fuko, Sadong, and Gyuri with La Vie en Rose, and they're all in this. So, like, she could have been like, I know how they work. They're great. I can work with them. Which, as the viewer, it would have been nice to get it a little bit more mixed up. Like,
yeah,
it would have been
Fuko
nice.
in white one more
or
time.
Gyuri and Fuko just in white, constantly in white. It would have been nice to have Fuko in La Ta Ta or something different for her. Go back to her bad boy roots. So, they have 10 minutes to pick the song. The 9 songs are all debut songs from existing K-pop girl groups. It would have been actually cool to have a boy group thrown in there.
Okay, from the pantheon of Western artists, what debut song would you choose? I would do Leave, Get Out.
By JoJo?
By JoJo, not the Siwa.
I mean, obviously, I would pick Bring It All Back by S Club 7. Shut up. I don't even have to think about that. Okay, I'm going to list the songs that they could have chosen and should have chosen. The 9 debut girl group songs that they had as a choice was Into the New World by Girls' Generation, Fearless by LE SSERAFIM, Dala Dala by ITZY, La Ta Ta by G-Idol, Attention by NewJeans, Black Mamba by aespa, 11 by IVE, Good Girl Bad Girl by Miss A, legendary, and Happiness by Red Velvet. Both groups want La Ta Ta. Like, out of 9, both groups want La Ta Ta.
I think after seeing it, I completely understand why. Not heavy singing, attitude, great distribution of parts, great choreo, and it's far enough in people's memory that you're not being compared to the actual debut of these members.
I would really want Dala Dala. I get that it's like, it's not so different from La Ta Ta to contrast it, but There's a dance break, there's singing, there's rapping, there's high notes, like there's crazy choreo. Like I'm wondering if some of them they thought were too hard to pull off as well.
If you watch La Ta Ta, it's not a dance where synchronization is key at all.
No, it's more about shapes and...
Yeah, they're making pictures, and they're moving the pictures, and they're highlighting one member, so you're not having to look at hands all being the same, arms all being the same.
Yeah. But that's what Into the New World is. Into the New World is like, we all have to do a high kick at the same height. So the part picking is greedier than ever, and I lived.
The part picking showed the weakness of the leaders. How would you have done it? Yeah, let's say you're the leader, and also you're a 15-year-old girl, and these are your friends.
I didn't come here to make friends. I came here to slay. I like...
Quoting no one. He's not afraid to not reference.
I like how Coco did it. I mean, I don't think that Jimin and Coco really had different strategies at all, but I liked that it felt more communal, and it was like, does everyone feel good with this? Maybe because the part distribution was more fair, that people were willing to trade. And actually, was there even a part distribution, or did they do it themselves just looking at the song?
There are 6 members, so they
just kind of graphed onto.
Probably could have just graphed, but I think that the Into the New World team should have divided the song and then conquered, but they conquered and then tried to divide.
Yeah, it was messier, right? I mean, I appreciated that, like, that the girls were sweaty, and that Gyuri was like, I need more parts. Like, I've been in part 2. I've never had the big part. Fuko also, she's like, I need more shit.
Yeah, Fuko is the one who was like, I need as much as I can get.
I don't want to stand at the back ever. And Maya's like, I'll take part 12, was it? Like,
I tie the ribbons on the castmates. Is that part available?
I fluff Jimin's boobs. Okay, great. Yeah, I liked that the girls are greedy. I liked that they were like, the show's almost over and I need more.
Best part of this episode is that the girls know that this performance does not matter. And so we get much better performances than we are used to.
It matters in the sense that the producers do get to pick who's going to the final, so it could change a producer's mind about somebody versus somebody else. And now, us as the voters, we get to vote for 4 days for the final and one pick. It could change it could change our minds about somebody at this point, that performance we saw today.
Yeah, but I think for the girls that know they're struggling. So basically for Mai, Yuju, Sujung, Juwon, this performance is like, which of us 4 can show the best?
Yeah.
It was really just for them. And it was kind of a showcase for the other girls.
They have to do their interim presentations. Like, they have to literally do, like, a foam core board presentation to the producers of, like, their concept, their wardrobe, this whole thing.
Well, what's your concept for S Club 7?
Oh, S Club 7, bring it all back?
Yeah.
Bring it all back to you.
I mean, I think I'd just do, like, a birthday party concept. It would be, like, birthday party, streamers, hats, confetti drop, piñata. Yeah, it would be, like, children's birthday party, because that was S Club 7's audience. I was 12, so I don't want to be heavy-handed. Cough, la ta ta,
So you're going to do...
No, like, La Ta Ta to me is, like, a street song, and I'm like, why are we in a forest at dawn? I want it to be, like, our concept is, like, I'm walking down the street and I get discovered that I'm a model. Like, that's what I want it to be. Like, I want outside sidewalk attitude. I love that they said no to the lavender flower outfits and just gave them black outfits and pinned a lavender flower to them. I liked La Ta Ta a lot.
Yeah, I think these were probably the 2 best performances on the show. Wow. Because they just were relaxed.
I liked everybody in this. I loved Yuju in this. Great outfit for her.
We got to see the
And she convinced me as a rapper, I think, for the first time. I always liked her as a rapper, but I was like, oh, she's really, like, I really feel her as this. Coco is feeling herself. Jiwon is great. Junggeun is great. Jiyoon is great. This was such a solid performance. And when it ended, I was like, I want the full song. I want a minute more. Like, I was mad that it was over as soon as it was.
Oh, yeah. And I don't know if this has been cut out of past podcasts or if I've ever said it, but Jiyoon needs to be in the group. We need the color. We need her color. I don't care about her, but I need her in the performances.
Yeah, but I think that she'll be good on Variety. Just with her, like, she's always like, what, me? Like, her expressions, she's very, like, honest in her reactions. So I think she'll be good on Variety.
Maybe that's why she's come off as, like, the way that she has on the show is because she's not as debutante ball-ified as all these other girls.
She's not acting. She's just real. And that turns people... Yeah, that's too raw for people. Okay, Into the New World.
없는 길 속에 희미한 빛을 난 쫓아가 언제까지라도 함께하는 거야 다시 만난 우리의
I didn't need this. I liked the performance, but some people are like, this is a Bible of Korean girl group songs. This should be done on every show because you get to do a high kick, you do a high note, you have to be in sync, this, that. Like, it's the ultimate test of girl groups, so put it on every show. And other people are like, but we've seen it so many times. And that's where I am. I'm like,
Ultimate test or beginner test? Because
I think it's
Sadang
hard.
says every trainee has done this.
well,
So that's why I'm like, is this so old school that now it's just like a training song? Or is it a showcase?
that's why that took me out of it a little bit too, because I'm like, all these girls probably already know the song. Already
that's
already know
exactly
the
what I
dance.
thought.
Already know the dance. Like, it's not fresh.
I think the strategy was, let's do the opposite of La Ta Ta.
Which I think is smart. I think it's like smart. So there was nothing like new about it which weakened it for me, but I do think it's a good performance, and I liked the staging of it where they were like, are we Mamamoo from Queendom? Are we Brave Girls from Queendom? Let's bring out the old school projectors and show our trainee footage. I appreciate that the intro is everyone getting like a solo moment to sing. It's the best she's ever sounded. In this whole song, it's the best she's ever sounded. Everyone sounds good. I don't really look at like Jimin as like a singer, but she sounds good in this. And then they do like a typical like Into the New World performance. Fuko gets all the high notes, which I felt like she was a little robbed of because she's doing like all the ad-libs, but they're only filming her for some of them. Sometimes they show Mai or other people while Fuko's doing shit, and I'm like, that's why I'm comparing it to Produce 101, where I'm like, that made such a moment of the main singer, and I wish this did the same, but...
And they also were wearing outfits that fit the aesthetic of Girls' Generation debut. Where they were wearing like school outfits,
tennis, kind of pickleball.
There's no reinterpretation to me.
I think just like, I don't view these girls... To me, Into the New World, like the performers of the song have to feel extremely pure. Like, that's the concept, is purity. And I don't view these girls as pure because we're on a Black Label show, which is all about making them, like, tough and kind of black pinkish, and it feels like every...
And they're biting their lips in the middle of Into the New World.
Yeah, like yes, and it feels like a lot of the songs they've done, I felt like Rosé could do them, or Rosé did sing on them. Like, it just... Purity has not been in the...
Or they all want to be Rosé.
Like, purity has not been in the theming of this show. Maybe for Gyuri and Fuko have those two, but it just doesn't feel like really in the brand of the show, so it feels weird. I think I'm realizing now, that's why it felt weird to me. It just doesn't feel on brand at all for the show.
I'm nodding.
Yeah. If you were in the audience, who would you have given your, like, audience votes to? I wrote down that they gave them to 3 people. I don't know if that actually works, but if you had to pick 3 people from the 2 numbers.
Coco, Jiyoon, and Juwon.
Wow, okay. I thought Coco, Yuju, and Jungin.
So we only made La Ta Ta.
Well, La Ta Ta was just so much more, like, everyone got their moment.
I know.
Everyone got their dance break where they got to choke themselves. It's what we needed.
I wish that Mai was on La Ta Ta.
Yeah. So, they do eliminations. Andy, I think you pointed out a great commonality in the 3 that are up for eliminations at the end, which is Yuju, Soojung, and Juwon, is that they all have...
I have my body type, and everyone who's in the group has your body type.
Oops. Yeah, Korea does not want these curvaceous girls. I think they want, like, tall, skinny models that they can, like, aspire to be, which, sure.
Juwon, I feel like in-house would have gotten into a group, but will not be able to get into this group. I mean, obviously not, because she's eliminated. But, like, she can sing-ish, great dancer, beautiful face. She's just 6 inches too short.
She's not made for this group. She can get in something else.
Even Sadang, my favorite person on the show, I'm like, oh, does she fit?
Yeah.
Even though she has the face and the body, but she is, like, 3 inches shorter than all the other girls.
Yeah, because I look at Sarang as a center, but I'm like...
But she's not tall enough.
But Sabi and Jimin are also centers, but, like, she has to be a center in a group that's just shorter. Like, Wiki Miki as a group was a very short group. I think they have, like, 2 tall people that they put on the sides, but, like, everyone else is, like, a cute little short girl. It's like, you have to match You have to just kind of match the heights for a group, I think. Have you been voting?
I voted once and I voted for Sarang. She is my one pick.
And what's your strategy there?
I don't think she'll be popular, voted in. But I think that they're basically just going to do the 3 other most popular people, maybe with one change. I'm worried.
What are you worried about?
She won't debut, but I love her.
No, Sadang, I mean, I really like Sadang. It like tears at my heartstrings that we can only vote for one.
To me, she's like, okay, a youngin' on any show we've ever watched. She's from Girls Planet.
And
she
Kepler,
is
and
in
Kepler.
Kepler. We never voted for her.
No.
But I do think she is my favorite person we've ever seen on these shows because she was almost American in her, like, I'm just going to speak plainly. I don't think she's good. I'm good. Here's my strategy. She's doing a strategy. That's wrong. And she was a good dancer and singer. And she's pretty. Like, she had everything that I want.
Okay,
And Sarang to me is, like, most that.
I'm voting for Fuko because Gyuri's my favorite. I do not think that Gyuri can get in on the vote. I think that the only way that Gyuri can get in is the producers picking her, and the producers do seem to like her.
Yeah, the producer pick right now would be Sarang and Gyuri.
Yeah, like...
I love them both.
I worry that, people will vote in, like, Jungin and Jiyoon and Jimin and all the Gs. I worry that they'll get voted in, and then the producers will pick, like, Sabi, Fuko, Mai, or something, and we'll lose Sarang on Gyuri. That's what I worry about. But I'm like, Gyuri's only going to get in on a producer. She's never getting in a vote. So let me give my vote to Fuko to at least get her in maybe on votes. Also, we're in America. We only have 4 days of voting. We only have 4 votes, and Korea is, like, quadruple our votes.
And I
so,
didn't
like,
even vote today, so.
Yeah, so we're, like, fucked. But I can put the energy...
Sarang fighting.
I can put the energy out there.
I think this is the most we've watched a show where we care about the girls that are not getting in. Because it's a small amount, and I think we've gotten to know these girls way more than we have in other shows.
Well, no, Nizi Project, we knew them, but Nizi, they debuted a 9-member group, but they only cut 3. So,
yeah, and those 3 sucked.
So Nizi Project was clear, like, oh, these are the top 9.
I think it's going to be heart-wrenching anyway, because we're not going to get everyone we want.
I want a group
and we're going to get Jimin, so...
I know, which
just
you guys, we
switch
do not care about. You know that. We don't care about Jimin at all. Yeah, I mean, I just ultimately want a group that's made up of a variety of colors, a variety of vocal flavors, a variety of stuff. And I think they could make that, or they can make a group that's very samey. That's what we worried about with Boys Planet and was Zero Base 1. Ricky, we never cared about on the show, but I was very happy that Ricky got in because I was like, he is something different. Like, he is a unique vampire from China. Like, yes. And we were worried about, we always talked about on the Boys Planet podcast, like, oh, they're going to lack flavor. And there is some sameness in Zero Base 1 that we mix up certain members. So.
Oh, I mean, I think that there's 6 and then there's 3.
That are like merged.
Yeah, there's 3 that we always confuse, including
Hanbin, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be hard next week. So that's all to say. That's our episode. You can follow us on Instagram at Gays Planet Pod, and that is the show. Bye.
Every day, every night, Don't be lazy, 다가와 baby. 시간은 너무 짧고 이건 아직 basic. 좀 더 깊은 것으로 더 들어가 나를 머금고 취해도 대중이었지 않았네.